Welcome everybody to the first ever Ganking Azeroth podcast. This is episode 1.
Hey,
This is I think we're both a little nervous, at least I am, about doing this.
oh, of course.
But
I am. It's the first one I've ever done.
right, but we'll stumble through it. So this is episode 1. And yeah, we're basically just a podcast that we're going to talk about the
A bunch of different stuff, actually.
a bunch of different things, but probably mostly World of Warcraft news to start. I mean, right now there really isn't much going on with Blizzard Entertainment other than Warcraft news, really. Between 8.2 and coming out soon and Classic, I mean that's about all they got going for themselves right now, to be honest. But so we're gonna talk about Warcraft and maybe some other things, and then basically we're gonna pick one off topic to talk about once a week. So our goal is one episode a week, but if things get busy, you never know what's going to happen, right?
Or possibly stale.
Or it gets stale, yeah. So we could have one once a week. We could have 2 or 3 a week, or we could have once every 6 months. We don't know. We're just going to kind of go with this. We're just going to go with it.
We're not doing every 6 months.
Yeah, we're just going to go with it and see what happens. So
we should do one at least once a month because there's always going to be news on Blizzard. Even if it's just finding out who's mad about what today.
Yeah, or even if it's just them shutting down because they're a terrible company and they're laying off another 300 employees or something stupid.
Hashtag Activision.
Yeah. So, anyways, yeah.
All right. Yeah. So first
what's really funny about this, I think, is that we're kind of in a stale period, and we're trying to start a podcast.
Very stale.
It's stale as hell, and we're trying to talk about staleness. So it's gonna be great, you know.
It's gonna be good, but we do have a I don't even know what you want to call it, something in the background with Classic. So maybe it will not be so stale.
That's coming
eventually in the future. So.
Yeah, you never know.
But right now with BFA being in the position it's in,
it's kind of a mess. Yeah.
It's a mess.
It's a freaking mess.
We'll probably get into that a little bit too.
Maybe. You never know. So I guess we'll just get into the news, I guess. The first thing I got here is the new Heritage armor for Gnomes and Taurens that's coming with patch 8.2.
Yeah, so I actually looked at that stuff today because I hadn't looked at it since BlizzCon because I think they released it in BlizzCon 2018. If I'm correct. I believe they came out. They showed previews of it. I believe
you're probably right. I don't remember, but you're probably right.
So yeah, I took a little more in-depth look at them today on the Google, and they're pretty neat. I think the Tauren stuff looks a lot better than the Gnomes, in my opinion. But I don't know what your thoughts are.
I like the Gnome stuff. I like the whole Mechagon thing that they're going to be going with in 8.2. I'm really excited about that.
It's different. I like the mechanical feel to it. But for me personally, as you know, I'm not a huge fan of the Gnome race. But that's just me. But I do like how it's mechanically, if that makes sense, how I said it.
Yeah.
Like it's cogs and screws and all that. Like I thought that was pretty neat for the armor. What I wish they could do though, which would be kind of pretty hard to do, each like armor set have its own thing. So like the Gnome armor looks more plate than anything. So look, I don't know. I think it'd be neat if they had like a plate set, like a leather set, a cloth set, a mail set.
Yeah, it's just kind of a blanket set, I guess, right?
Yeah, but it doesn't look bad. Like
they look okay.
I gave it like a 7, 8 out of 10 for how I liked it. Like it wasn't horrible, but it wasn't my favorite.
Yeah, I'd probably give it a 7 too.
But I do like how like the shoulders have like the cog wheels and they move. I always was a fan of like the moving shoulders and stuff.
Yeah, are these ones gonna move? I didn't notice that.
Yeah, there's like a cog wheel, like someone on the back and then one on the top, and they just kind of spin.
Oh, no kidding! I'm looking at it right now. That's pretty neat. Yeah,
are
all the Taurens gonna have this the totem.
Yeah, so I was looking that up. Like I was watching Mr. I think his name is Mr. GM on YouTube, and he was saying because I guess that stuff's all like you can do the quest line and the PTR and all that, which I should probably download. I've never downloaded the PTR, and you can see all the new fancy stuff. But he was saying that the totem is a part of the chest piece. I thought it was the back piece, but he was saying it's
It's the chess piece.
the chest piece, which I think it's neat looking. Altogether, I think it was really good.
How is?
I like how they finally. Oop, go ahead.
No, you're fine.
I'll say I like how they finally got like a headpiece for the Tauren that actually looks decent. Because everything else is like how their head comes in like it bends down and they got that weird long neck
Yeah, with the
and
horns,
helmets
it
on
makes
them.
things
Like
funny. Yeah,
and with helmets on them, it just looks really weird because it's like you got this really neat helmet that's just kind of sticking out there, and then they have their neck, and then it's attached to the body, obviously.
yeah,
But it's neat how they kind of had it like just like a weird like little like Indian type headpiece. That it fits them very well, I think.
yeah. I agree. Definitely
But the only
agree.
problem I did that set um was the pants because it's basically you're wearing brown whitey tighty for the pants.
Oh yeah, I just noticed that too.
Yeah, and then the
That
belt piece kind of makes like they hang down, so it looks better. But yeah, you're just wearing like these brown whitey tighties. I think they could have done something a little better.
yeah, I see what they're trying to go with the whole like the Indian totem look.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's strange. That's
Not
kind of
bad though. Like
that's funny. I never noticed that before. Now I notice it. It's like whoa.
I like it though. I gave it like a 9 out of 10 on my opinion for
Yeah.
myself. But
Okay, so just to touch a little bit more on that. So let's see. One for gnomes. It's coming in the Rise of Ashara content patch. So players with a maximum level 120 gnome or tauren. So I think that's important to note. Gnome or tauren. It's not you do one, you get both. You got to do both.
yes.
Who are exalted with their faction Nomergon or Thunderbluff, respectively, will be able to embark on a new quest line for each race to learn more about their history. Once you complete your quest, you'll gain a new Heritage Armor transmogrification set to your race and be able to show off your pride.
Now, do we know if it works? As like we were talking before we started this, I was talking about the dwarf one because I don't have that heritage armor yet or the dark iron. So can you play like say like you play a a Tauren or whatever and you get that set and you wanted like all right like you do high mountain
Right.
but you want the Tauren heritage armor, can you raise change and then just get it
No,
once you've done exalted with them?
no, you have to literally level up.
So you
Oop.
have to level them from a new player.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right, hold on
And so
here.
Storms will also be the first seed to complete the war campaign quest. I don't know if you read this stuff yet,
No, go ahead.
so you could possibly edit it out if you need to.
No,
Or you can
we'll
edit
leave. We're
this
just
whole
gonna leave it in
sentence
there.
out.
We're just leaving it all in there. So go
Torn will
ahead.
also be Torn will also be first need to complete the war campaign quest Stay of Execution, which will be available shortly after launch of Rise of Ashara. And I'm assuming as soon as 8.2 comes out, you just get the gnome one right away, as long as you got the attunement or whatever you want to call for it.
They'll probably have a. I think you'll get a little quest line that you have to
Yeah, like a
follow, but otherwise you're just yeah. As long as you complete that quest line, you'll get it.
mhm.
I think that's it on the heritage armor, huh?
Yeah, so I'm pretty excited for the tour and stuff. I don't play much Horde, I main Alliance, but
Yeah, same. But either way, it's still fun. As
it's
much
still
as
neat.
transmog is kind of one of those things. It's still fun. I'm a collector,
It,
so I mean I gotta have it all. But I mean
yeah.
it's neat to be able to transmog into that. Um, so I guess we'll go to the next thing, huh?
Yeah, so moving on,
Moving on.
this week was time walking events. something I actually kind of personally like. I wish I did it more than I do. Um, that's probably that, and then like that's probably my favorite part of it. Like when they do the thing every like the PvP or the mythic dungeons. My personal favorite is time walking because I like going back and doing the old content a little bit.
Yeah, it's not bad. So yeah, at the time of this recording, the week's almost over at this point for doing it, but it was one of the main things to do this week. And I actually think it was the first. This might have been the first time that Warlords of Draenor had its own time walking, if I'm not
It
mistaken.
was, yeah. This is the first time, and then last expansion in Legion was when they first did mop.
Yes.
So before it was only what I don't even think they had. They didn't do classic dungeons. They did um was it BC Wrath and then Kata. I don't think you can do
Yeah. No,
classic
they
time
didn't.
walking.
They didn't have any classic time walking. No. I mean, for retail players or current players, so to speak, that would be neat to have as like classic time walking. But I guess if you want classic time walking, you're just gonna have to play classic in 2 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Draenor and the mop ones in Legion are probably my favorite because that's like kind of when I started. I started at the end of Kata, and I was on and off on them. So like doing the mop ones was really fun for me because it kind of brought back the old feeling.
See, I'm a fan of these Draenor ones because the Draenor dungeons were they weren't long. They were very to the point. Here's your 4, 6 bosses, whatever. Very minor trash in between. Like it was just very do this dungeon, get your gear, and get out. I mean, maybe that was a
Yeah,
downfall of Draenor altogether. No
yeah, they
content,
weren't
no content. But I mean, these are like my favorite dungeons to be honest.
they weren't hour-long dungeons, which I
Right?
guess some people might like that stuff.
Yeah.
Probably in current WoW now, I think an hour-long dungeon might be a little much considering how everything else is.
Yeah. I,
Um,
I think the longest one was probably the Everbloom. That's there's a lot of trash in that dungeon.
there is, but the thing with I don't know what it is, but like the mop and wad ones, maybe because I played it when it was currently out, they're not as hard as like the Cataclysm one. I don't know what it is, but the Cataclysm time walking, like just I don't, it wrecks me. I can't
Yeah.
remember. It's one where like you like ride these dragons around and stuff like that. That dungeon is a pain in the ass, and I don't know
Yeah.
what it is with me, but I just when those come up, I'm just like, oh, I don't want to do them, but
I don't like that one either.
I like them. But I really like doing the mop and the Draenor ones the best.
Yeah. So the
Um,
dungeons that were included was Auchindoun, which is my favorite. The Blood Small Slag Mines, which we got I think 3 times. The Everbloom, Iron Docks. We didn't even get that one time. The Iron Docks, that's a kind of long one too. Shadow
yeah, it
Moonbear.
wasn't.
Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, Iron Docks was a little bit longer, and then the boss, like if you didn't hide behind the stuff at the end, like you would just get one shot.
Yeah. I kind of
But yeah,
like
no,
that.
we did.
I like that boss actually, but
Yeah, it's
that's
fun.
just
It
me. Yeah.
it, it holds people accountable, which is
Yeah.
kind of what we need to get back to in the
Yeah.
game.
Then we had Shadow Moon Burial Grounds, and then Skyreach. And Skyreach was terrible. That did not go well.
No,
That
that
did
one
not go.
was that one. I thought was going to be I thought Akandun was going to be the hardest because the third boss, what was his name? Ezekiel,
Yeah, maybe.
Ezekiel. I
I
don't
don't
know. I don't know how to
remember.
pronounce it. Um, I remember when it came out in current, it was like that boss wiped your group at least once, and then
Yeah.
once you got gear, like it obviously got easier, and you could just face roll it.
Right.
So I was like, oh man, going back into this with like how the scaling might be, it's gonna be rough. And then honestly, it was surprisingly we one shot that boss
Yeah, it was pretty
when
easy.
we were in that group. I didn't think that was gonna happen because I remember talking. I was like, oh my god, they're gonna get so mad because like it's not gonna go well. And then shockingly, the Sky Reach with the third boss, the bird, uh, uh Ruck Run. I don't know if I probably
The
didn't say that
Phe-
right.
the Phoenix one
Uh,
where it shoots the
it's the one where
quills.
he's yeah.
Yeah,
He
forget that
was
boss.
that was a bitch. Like
Yeah,
we
forget
wiped on
that
that
boss.
what twice?
Yeah. No, 3 times, 3 or 4
3
times.
times.
Yeah, at
I can't
least
remember.
3.
I don't know what was going on, but yeah.
Yeah.
So
So yeah,
surprised that that one lasted. That one was a little harder. But I wish that we could have got the other ones. Like we did Auchindoun once. We did Blood Moss Lagmines twice. We did Everbloom and Skyreach.
yeah.
I believe that would have been 5. Yeah, we didn't get to do Iron Docks or Shadow Moon Burial Ground.
No, it must have been when I was leveling my mage. I did the Iron Docks through leveling. I think that's where
How
I.
did that How did that go?
It was fine. It's just long.
Was it?
Yeah, I did it twice
Yeah, it is a
actually.
little bit longer.
Yeah.
And then with the other, I don't remember what they're called, like the three bosses that you have to fight. Like that one was always a bitch because people never really wanted to pay attention on how to do it. I don't know if you
Right.
had that kind of an issue.
Yeah. I mean, you always run
Like
into it.
you gotta. There's like a certain order you gotta do them, and I don't honestly remember the correct order. I just remember you used to do the orc last, and I think the little goblin is second.
Yeah.
So whatever the woman is for the first one, like I don't know, you always put a little skull on her head, and no one ever attacks it because they don't pay attention.
Yeah.
So, but then
So,
something neat with that is like you can get a quest that I believe gives you, was it 500 time walking tokens,
yep, the
and
quest
then you can
yeah,
also,
after you complete 5 dungeons time after you complete 5 time walking dungeons, you get 500 time warp badges.
oh, time warp badge, that's what they
Yeah.
are, and then you also get them from killing bosses too, I believe, right? You get like 100
You get 5.
or 5. Okay, I was
You
way
get
off. I thought it was like 125, but
you get 5 and then I think on the last boss sometimes I got 10. So I don't know if it's like a if it's an RNG deal like foraging is. I don't know if it's like that, but
I'm
I
not
think
sure. Maybe if it's like the first time you completed that boss for the week, they drop extra. I don't know.
yeah, I don't know either. I just noticed I was sometimes I would get 5 and sometimes I would get 10. I don't know what the deal
I
with
don't know
that
where
was.
my
So
I don't know where my number of 125 came from. That was kind of a little off there, but oh well.
you don't want to know how many time warp badges I've gone through.
Wait, what?
I think I have like 3 of the time of the time walking mounts.
And I
So
wish I did them. I wish I did it more
so
than what I did.
that's like 15,000 time warp badges. That's a lot.
Yeah, but it's worth it because you get the mounts.
Oh
You
yeah,
know, they got those two. They got the two special mounts
yeah,
this
like
for
this
WAD.
for WAD is 2 mounts. Yeah, the it's a wolf and the mammoth, like a fiery
Yeah, and
mammoth.
it's from the Blackrock Foundry raid, right? From Beastmaster.
Yep, it's to 2 guys
Yeah.
from the Beastmaster raid thingy. Yeah,
Yeah, so those mounts that he had were always cool, and it's like, oh man, you can get those. Like, I wish I ran it more than I did because I only have like 4,200 badges, and I've never bought anything since Time
4,200
Walking came out,
on one tune or all together.
just on my main. So
Oh,
I have done it on like on my
well,
warrior and
so you're
stuff.
close. Next time you'll be able to get
Yeah, I wish I ran it more though. Like if
if
I
you
just
grind the next time walking thing, you'll be able to get it because you'll get the 500. So it'll be a
Mhm.
4,700, and then you'll need 300 more. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot of dungeons. But I mean,
But if they're fun, like if it's a good set, like if we go back to WAD or not WAD, Mop, that would be awesome.
yeah, you'd have to look on the
Those are
calendar.
really
I think
fun.
Blizzard has them all set out for a while. You could probably find out when it is, but
Oh yeah, we'll have to
what the
look that
next one
up.
is. So
Yeah,
yeah,
so you get those two
get
cool mounts. Like
2
I'm
mounts.
excited for them. I
Yep,
want to get them.
yep. 2 mounts, and you get 2 toys. One's 500 badges, and the other is 750 badges. And
What are
then
they? I never went and looked at them.
you know what? This is bad for me to say. I don't know. I didn't look.
Yeah, I never.
I'm sure it's
When it came
WAD.
to
This WAD related. I'm sure, but
Yeah, when it comes to like the toys and stuff, I never really pay attention. That and like the battle pets, like I never really paid attention to that stuff.
yeah, me either.
Like it was kind of like, oh, that's neat when it came out, and then like you mess with it for like a day or two, and you're like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah.
At least that's how it was for me. So
And then in the notes here, I have normal time warped items. I think I was just talking about the regular loot drops. So
yeah, so I was looking at that.
you get like WAD transmog stuff, but it's all time warp, eye level. So it's what 365 gear.
See, I was in. before we started this, I had loaded up WoW and I looked at it because I wanted to know the numbers. I thought it was what you said was a 360 or 365,
Mm-hmm.
but in the dungeon journal thing, it says it's 145.
That's because it scales. It's a scaled thing. So
I'll say I know that's not right because it was dropping higher stuff in that because it's a catch up.
yeah, it's so when like you go back into it, yeah. So when you get it, you're scaled down to 145 eye level, but it's whatever that scales up to now. It's either 355 or 365,
Mm-hmm.
if I'm not mistaken.
I believe it's 360 or 365 depending on what it does.
Yeah, it's like yeah, normal raid tier for Aldir. So
Yeah,
so basically, if you run a bunch of time walking, it gets you caught up to where you can do normal BOD. I think that's how it works. So it probably would be 365 because wasn't normal Aldir 355? Was that
I
365?
believe so. And then heroic was 370,
375
375.
probably. Yeah.
Because my
Is that
character's like 380 ish, and I have like I call it participation gear, which is emissary quest gear because I stopped playing for a
yeah?
little bit.
Yeah, so it's probably 365 then.
So yeah, and then I'm assuming I don't know with the patch drop, I don't know if it'll go up more so you can join the raids quicker, but I actually won't because there's the new gear coming up. The what is it called? I just had a bend thing. So that's what's
Uh,
coming out with 8.2. So I'm assuming time walking is just to kind of get your character up there pretty quick with some heroic gear so you can do regular heroic BFA dungeons.
yeah,
I'm not sure because in the beginning I never really have to like I mean I play the game in the beginning so I don't have to worry about that catch up mechanic. It's usually like in the middle of it when I do.
right. Okay, I think we beat that to death, huh?
Yeah, probably a little bit, but
Just a
it's
little
fine.
bit. It's fine.
Just a little bit.
So the next thing is on the docket is J. Allen Brack, the president and CEO of Blizzard Entertainment, gave an interview to VentureBeat. Uh,
Which was actually pretty neat because they kind of did I don't know, like the first question was kind of like a little bit of history about him, which I thought was neat.
yeah. So what I'll
So
do here, just to I'll just kind of read some of the notes here for it, and then you can just comment when we find something that we want to talk about. I guess, right?
yeah, well, the first thing, like the very first questions, I think it was like kind of where he came from. I don't have the interview pulled up in front of
I
me right now.
I got it. I think the way I have this down here is by question. So, J. Allen Brack has played all Blizzard franchises and is a true fan of everything the company does. I hope so because he's the president and CEO.
Yeah,
Uh,
that'd look really bad if he was like, I don't like this game. It's like, ah.
right. And Warcraft is close to his heart because it is the franchise he has worked on the longest and played the most. Wasn't he
Yeah,
was
and
like the
then
game director or something for it or something? I don't remember, but
I don't know. It's bad of me to say this, but when he came up, I was kind of like, who the heck is this? Once more, I'm retired. So I was like, I don't know who this guy is.
yeah,
But a cool thing about him is he actually worked on an MMO before WoW even came out. He worked on
yeah, he just
Star Wars Galaxies.
yeah he destroyed an MMO over there. And then he came here and is destroying this one. In my opinion, I don't know. It's my opinion.
Possibly, I think Activision has something
He
to
was
do with
the
it too.
he's the whole I think you do but you don't guy in regards to classic WoW, classic servers.
You think you do, but you don't.
You think you do but you really don't. And then
and and
actually
that's what's gonna actually
we really do.
save Blizzard here, I think.
Right.
So, um, so
So
yeah, so they kind of were talking a little bit about that. And did you like? He was saying they had 300 employees when they started WoW
yeah, when World of
for
Warcraft
Blizzard,
launched, the company had 300 employees. Today they have 4,300. And
which is insane.
I think what's important to note is that when they were making so obviously World of Warcraft is set after Warcraft 3, right? But
Yes.
they were making those two games simultaneously. I just find that kind of interesting.
Hmm.
It's like they really didn't even know how Warcraft 3 was going to end. but yet they were already making the next game. World of Warcraft.
Could
I just
almost try to find those and do a playthrough of them. I think
yeah,
it'd be kind of fun.
that's soon. Let's see here. We don't need
And then he was
Warcraft.
talking about the uh, kind of well, we'll go back to that because I was going to talk about the 15-year anniversary, but we
That's
actually have that a little bit farther down. But it
yeah,
was
that's
something that he had talked about. So
yeah.
according to his interview, so I'll talk about that when we get down
Okay.
to the other anniversary
Oh yeah,
part.
the team started discussing what to do for the 15th anniversary about 2 years ago and wanted to do something broader than the 10th anniversary statue.
Which man, I we always talked about this. I was like,
I
man,
don't
I
even
wish I
know what
played.
I don't even know what that is. Uh,
So if you can, from
wow.
what I understood, if when the game came out, you continued your sub from the day you started it for the 10 years, you got a 10-year statue. They gave it,
Oh, if you had it the whole time?
but you couldn't like cancel your sub or something like that. From what I remember hearing, this was what 5 years ago.
I just
So
brought up a picture now. Oh, it's the statue that's outside Blizzard headquarters, the orc riding the wolf. That's really neat.
yeah, and I believe they gave everybody that had one of those that had the sub for 10 years or something like that from the beginning.
Really?
Correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't
I
know.
might be wrong, but I remember hearing about that.
It's pretty neat.
But yeah, it's like he wanted to do something different. I think this dude, the Ragnarok statue, is awesome.
Yes.
That thing is
Yes, it
truly
is.
really cool. If you ask me, let's see. I'm gonna type this into Google.
Yeah, I'm looking it up too, so I can put a picture on the YouTube feed. And I want a picture of the
Wow,
whole.
eBay, $189 for that. Holy. But yeah, no, like the Ragnarok statue is awesome. I wish I could see it in person. I believe they had one in there when they were doing the classic secret classic thing that they did in Irvine. Was that like a couple weeks ago?
Yeah,
I believe they had it there, and Tally said it looked really cool. So
yeah. I was watching
it
Stacy.
looks
He
awesome.
talked about it, so it's really really nice. So,
And you get the fancy Anixia pin,
yep, the
which is
Nixia
neat.
pin.
I like the I've seen like when we were at BlizzCon, like I've seen people like they collect all those pins and they have just like this giant book of all of them, which is kind of neat.
Yeah, they get crazy.
Something for collectors.
Yeah,
And you get the fancy map mouse pad, which I thought was pretty neat.
yeah.
Something
Well,
different. It's kind of
well,
looks
we'll come.
nicer
We'll,
than
we'll
my.
come. We'll come back to that though. We'll come back to that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
Skipping ahead a little
I'm
bit.
just excited. I'm excited too. It's fine. I
Yeah,
really.
like I'm
I can't.
really.
I can't wait to get it.
Yeah, I can't wait for it to come. Um,
Let's see. J. Allen Brack's transition into Blizzard Entertainment has been challenging, but the most important piece is what the teams are working on and the future of the franchises. The company currently has more games being worked on now than any other time in Blizzard's history, and they believe in the future of their franchises. That's a pretty
I
strong
wonder.
statement by him.
I wonder what else they're coming out with. Like they remastered. Was it Warcraft? Was it
Warcraft
Warcraft
3, yeah.
3? They remastered that.
Hmm.
They got their Diablo project, which I wanted to talk about because I don't really agree with his statement that he made.
Right.
What else they got? Overwatch. I don't know what they've really done with Overwatch. I know they came out with a new character not too long ago. That I don't know what his name is. He's a healer.
It's
Um,
Overwatch is an interesting thing because it's like you can just keep doing
yeah, you
characters
can
and
just
maps,
add
but
characters.
at what point does that get stale? So
Hmm.
at some point
And
that's
then
going to get stale.
Heroes of the Storm. Like they basically stopped doing anything with
There,
that game. It sounds like
yeah, there's no more esports for it. It's just basically it's not the way I
it's just a
understand it.
game.
It's just whatever they've been working on, and then it's going to be it. They're not doing anything like new. So
And they don't do anything with. I mean, I think that they still do esports, but they don't really do anything with StarCraft anymore.
right.
unless if they're making a new
No,
StarCraft game. Which
StarCraft is done as far as we
is it
know.
done?
I mean, they
I've
could be
never played
making.
it, so I don't know if they're making another
They're
like
not.
StarCraft.
There's no
Was
more
it three?
content for StarCraft unless until they come out with like a StarCraft 3, if they ever.
Yeah, if they do, that's one of those games I don't play. I don't know anything about.
But I mean, it's going to
Um,
be interesting because at the earnings call that they had with their, the quarterly early earnings call or yearly earnings call, whatever. J.
mhm.
Allen Brack said that they don't have any big announcements for this year. So, in one hand, he says we have nothing to talk about, and we're not going to have anything to talk about. And then in this interview, he says, "Oh, we're working on all this great stuff." Well, what is it?
Do you think? Do you think they're coming out with another game?
No, I
Hmm.
don't. I mean, no, because
I don't know what they would even come up with. It was something I was thinking about today. I was like, what? Like, are they going to come up
if
with
they don't
something
say
else? Like,
if they don't say something about Diablo 4 at BlizzCon, I think it's going to be a problem.
that was something I wanted to
They
talk
don't have
about. I
to
don't know if
have a
you want.
trailer. They don't have to have a trailer. They just have to just tease something that it's coming. That's all they have to do.
So, talking about that, I actually wrote it down from GamesBeat. They asked him, it says, mobile is a giant market. How do you make product for the market while keeping your core, more PC focused fans happy? And so he said, which this is kind of what I really don't agree with. He says, I don't think it's a requirement that we try to make every game work and speak to every single player. That is, I think that's wrong.
Hmm.
I understand China is like a big mobile game, and I think like mobile gaming is like big over there, but you also need to make games for us over here, and we are not in the mobile era yet. It's more PC and console, you know.
Correct.
And it's like I get what he says where he goes, they want to make you they want you to give it a chance, like and try it, and maybe you can become a mobile gamer. I agree with that because I do play mobile games on my phone.
Yeah.
But I don't know if Diablo is something I want to play on my phone. Am I going to try it? Yes. Am I going to love it? Probably because it's a Diablo game, and that is one of my favorite games that they've ever come up.
Right.
Um, but should it be on a mobile phone? I don't think so.
Right.
And I think they announced that at the worst possible time BlizzCon this year
Yep.
because everybody was hyped for maybe a Diablo 4. And if they weren't getting that, like there was a little bit of a teaser. I don't know. I believe it was either Riker or Bloodshed was talking about like someone had found. So you can find stuff in the game, and someone found like a note that kind of led to a tease of like the Druid class coming back from Diablo 2. So it's like, oh man, are we going to Diablo 4? Or are we going to get that? And then they dropped us Diablo Immortal on the phone, and it was kind of like, a, what the hell?
Yeah.
And I say they did it at the worst time because Diablo was kind of stale. Like we haven't had anything big since um, Reaper of Souls, which the Necromancer came out, which was cool. But like it really hasn't been anything big, and the game's been out for what 8 years or something like that. I don't even know how long it's been out for.
Yeah.
And then they did it when Path of Exile's at like an all-time high, if you ask me. You know,
Mhm. Mhm.
it's like everybody talked about that, and then you announced Diablo Immortal on your phone. And you're like, well, you just took all those players from there and you moved them into Path of Exile
Yep.
because they come out with expansions all the time. Like I think they've done 2 already this year.
I think the next point on here is pretty kind of what they're going to be doing in the future. So the next 2 points are Blizzard loved working on Diablo 3 for the Switch, and they think both Nintendo and the console are great. And then the next point is it's not ridiculous to assume that Blizzard could work with Nintendo on other projects.
Yeah, which is neat.
I mean I think Overwatch would be great for the Switch.
Oh yeah, it'd be really fun, especially on the go if you get like internet access.
And I mean,
Well, if you fancy phone, so you can make it a hotspot.
yeah,
Um,
I personally think that if they don't move, I call it retail WoW, but the most current WoW content or
mhm.
expansion or whatever. If they don't move that whole franchise to console and phone, I'd be surprised.
How would you do it though?
I think BFA is a little much to run on a mobile device, but it could run a console.
It could run on a console, but how?
You just like it is now. I mean, you got your
I
L and
just
R.
look at
You
like
get your trigger buttons on controllers now, and L and R's. Like you could use that to flip your spell bars. 'Cause, I mean, there's an up and down
because
arrow
they
on your
they
spell bars. I mean, you could do it.
I mean they do have an MMO on which is ESO. They have that on console, but I don't know I don't know. I'd have to watch it a little bit more. It's like how the hell would you heal a 20-man raid on a console?
Yeah, that would be
That's
interesting.
where I'm like, I don't know how you do it. And I don't know how big raids are on ESO because I haven't played that game since it came out.
Yeah, I don't know either. It would be very
Um,
interesting. Yeah, I don't know how. I mean,
like,
there's
because
some
how
there's
would
some
you?
there's some smart people working at Blizzard. I'm pretty sure they could figure it out.
Oh yeah, they'd figure it out. Um, but one thing I did want to mention back to Diablo Immortal. So, kind of going off from Diablo Immortal into something else. They came out. Marvel came out with a new game. It's a MOBA on your phone. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because it kind of looks similar to Diablo Immortal, where like you have on the one side you have your D-pad or whatever, and then you
Mm-hmm.
have your abilities on the other one. Well, this guy I watched stream, he was streaming. I can't remember what the Marvel game is called. It's like something war, but anyways, not that's not important. There's a program called BlueStacks, and he was running it on BlueStacks, which is running it on his computer. So there is hope for us PC players for Diablo Immortal, where you can play it on your computer through BlueStack. And I also
Yeah,
believe BlueStacks is free. So, I mean, it's
it's a
almost
lot.
like
It's
if
a
you can
lot of
play it on a
hassle,
computer and
but I
figure
mean,
it out, if you can play it on a computer and figure it out, you got a free Diablo Immortal.
yeah.
So,
I mean, yeah. So the rest of the stuff here that Brack talked about, I don't think. Let's see here. The
some
team.
of it, like he was talking about, like his achievements and stuff,
Yeah, I don't
and
really. I mean, I don't want to hear about. Yeah, he just. I have a
but
hard
one
time
thing I
listening to
did,
him. I have a hard time listening to anything he says about old World of Warcraft because he's one of the major players that changed it to what it is now, and it's not in a
yeah,
good
then
spot.
wasn't. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong because you know more about this than I do. But wasn't he also one that was not against classic, but didn't want to bring it back right
Yeah,
away?
yeah,
So a little
hmm
hypocritical.
yeah.
Um,
He says that he
and then some.
believes. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead. You may have.
Oh no, I'm just gonna. I was just gonna go to another point of his.
Oh yeah, because that's what I was doing. It was one where he said that they thought they should have made Argus its own expansion for a while because of how big it was
You know what I
from
heard?
Legion.
I had heard rumors right before Legion came out that Legion was supposed to be so big that they were gonna push it to 2 expansions, and
That
it
kind of would have been
it
neat,
didn't
in my
happen.
opinion.
Yeah.
That's one of those. I don't know if it would have been good, but I don't know if it would have been bad either.
One of
For
the things
me,
that
like
yeah, I don't know. Argus kind of sucked. I thought
yeah, I didn't like Argus because it just I don't know. I guess it's like where you're just in retail mode where you can pull everything and then you can't. You know.
it would have been cool if it was its own expansion, but only like a 1 year time frame expansion. Because Argus
Oh
was
yeah, like
like
a little
Argus.
short one.
Yeah, it was 3 zones. So I mean, it could have been like a 1 year 3 zone expansion. That would have been pretty cool,
Hmm.
actually. 3 raids, like 6 dungeons. That would have been pretty cool.
Yeah, I was a fan of Argus and Legion. I wasn't a huge fan of Suramar either. Actually, I hated going to any of those
No,
places.
Suramar was freaking terrible. But and he also believes that the 2 year expansion cycle with 3 major content patches is the right thing right now. I don't.
Yeah.
I I
No.
I don't know. It's because you end up with these content droughts like we're at right now. I mean,
Yeah, they almost
pe-
the end.
people are
It's like they
done.
need something in the middle of it.
People are done doing Battle of the Zarlor. People are done with Crucible of Storms because there's only a two boss raid, which is
Yeah.
fine. But now what? Now we're all sitting here and we have been for the last month. I would like more
it almost
less content more often. How's I don't know if I'm saying that right. So like,
yeah, because that's kind of like what I was gonna ask. Like
and
you want
instead
it
of just
almost
having like
like
instead of just having like big chunks thrown at you and then you get nothing for 6 months, I would rather have a little thing once a month. To be
yeah.
honest,
So like now it's like okay, you get 8.0, which is like the beginning of the expansion, and then you're done with that, and then it's nothing. And it's
yeah,
like boom, 8.1, and you get like a whole bunch more stuff, and then nothing.
yeah.
I
And
agree with you. Like I feel
8.1.5, and he's bam, here's some more shit, and it's like no, just
yeah, 8.1.5 is nothing really. It's like oh here's a class update,
yeah,
which might be needed, but
just give me a chunk here and a chunk there, keep me busy. But then again,
but
I mean
I
the chunks are going to have to be a little bit bigger too, I guess. But
I agree with you with the whole if you take what we have, cut it in half, and make that an expansion. Something I guess so the game is not constantly having to be played, but like there's no like month or 2 month droughts in between, I guess.
yeah, I mean we could do a whole podcast on what how the game should be. It's
How it
crazy.
should be.
Yeah.
I kind of agree with that, making it like a little smaller and then having like two expansions. I don't know.
The problem is like once
It's hard because I feel like they're
they throw these big patches, right? And then everything before that becomes irrelevant. And I think that's the biggest problem.
mm,
It's not like classic. I mean, classic everything's relevant for the most part, you know.
yeah, where it's just it's rough.
It's
It's
like
really hard to
yeah, it's a lot of balancing when it comes to numbers, but that's what that's what video games is about. It's what they get paid to do.
yeah, it is hard. It's like I don't know, like it's really hypocritical of me to say it, but it's like I want content faster, but not too fast. Like I don't, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I want to be able to do the raid, and then when that raid's kind of done and we're geared, then it's the next one. But I feel like the bigger guilds that do world first, I'm not trying to talk crap about them, but it kind of feels like they almost make the game for them, where it's like, boom, here's one, boom, here's one. It's like how long
yeah.
was Old Deer from BOD? It was what, like 2 3 months, I think, and then it came out. Another one came out.
I don't remember to be honest.
Which is like, yeah, it's like that's really fast, but then it's also like, man, I didn't get this stuff from the other one. I don't. It's just it's a balancing act that's really hard,
Yeah,
I guess. And I don't know what I really want. If
you.
that makes sense.
It's like you said. You think you do, but you don't.
You
Right?
don't, yeah, because
Yeah.
it's like, man,
Ha,
some of it's like, man, this came out way too fast, and then other times when it's like, okay, there's literally nothing to do. I, it's just it's hard. The
right.
balancing act is hard.
Let's see here. They say the big thing this year is going to be classic, and it's a huge piece that's going to be midway through the cycle. So I mean that tells you right there that we're getting 8.2 here pretty quick,
Yeah,
and they're
and
going
I
to drop.
think classic is gonna be
Yeah,
what saves it, or at least like well, classic. And if they I know they were talking about coming out with Burning Crusade and then Wrath. Like, I mean, that's going to open up a bunch of jobs for everybody because you're going to have people that can do each expansion,
yep.
and then that might actually be what brings Blizzard back. The only thing that I'm nervous about is like what's going to happen with retail. Like, eventually, it's got to end.
That's where
I
WoW
would
two. That's
think.
that's where WoW 2 comes in, or Warcraft 4.
Yeah,
They'll stop it at some point.
but I think it's just like when, you
The
know.
problem is they've been able to manipulate the game engine for so long that they can just keep doing what they're doing.
Mhm.
So the game looks good, you know.
Yeah,
So
but it's always like what happens like when it's done. Then what? Like, I mean, you
then
got people that
it's
spend
over.
years playing these. Yeah, then
It's,
just like what do you
it's,
just go back to classic again
it's
and
just
start over?
over. It's just over. So yeah, that was about it for his interview.
Yeah.
I think we hit the good points there.
I was kind of expecting a little bit more out of it. I kind of wanted, I guess, a little more in depth stuff, but I guess I would have to watch I don't even know who the heck the lores stream
No,
with Ian to find out more about WoW. Because, like I said, you know,
those are pretty informative. Yeah.
yeah,
All right,
So, you
so
want to move on to classic?
the next thing we got here. Oh, the
Because
next
that's
thing.
pretty. Oop.
Well, on my notes, I think our notes are different. But what I have next, and staying within retail first before we move to classic, is the WoW 15-year anniversary stuff.
Oh, yeah. I scrolled down a little farther.
Oh,
Okay, yeah, my bad.
so
Uh,
yeah, October, it's going to be coming out. I don't know. I don't remember the exact date. I probably should have put that in the notes, but I didn't. The World of
while you're
Warcraft
talking,
15
I'll look it
year,
up for Google.
the WoW 15-year anniversary collector's edition for $99. While you're looking that up, it's going to come with a Ragnaros statue, which, like we said earlier, some people have actually seen in the flesh, and it looks pretty cool. An Onyxia pin, a map of Azeroth mousepad, some art that I hope is some decent wall art, because that'll be cool. Something to frame and put up in the room here.
Yeah, it'd be neat if they came out with like those canvas pictures. Like if they came out with more of those. I know it's not going to be that in that box, but
they need to. I need to finish my collection.
like the canvas art that they have is really cool.
I'm missing classic and classic BC. Got Wrath, Cato, Mop. I'm missing Legion and Classic, and they never came out with a BFA one that I know of. But yeah.
Not yet, but it'd probably be the box art when they do.
Yeah.
Um.
So besides the art, you're gonna get some 30 days game time, which is nice.
Yeah, that's really nice.
They called them alabaster mounts, but they're basically in-game mounts that just look like Monopoly pieces. I think one's one of those griffins, and I don't know what the other one is.
One's a griffin, and one is the horde. It's like a lion bat thing. I don't know what the hell they're called.
Yeah.
I don't play much of the horde. Oh, the collector's comes out October 8th.
There you go, October 8th.
So 2019 for $99.99. If you can find them.
Yeah.
Somewhere on here I had seen one on eBay that was $189.
Well, I missed the Blizzard sale, and I missed the GameStop sale, but I just happened to be in the right place at the right time and checked Best Buy, and they had them. So I got my confirmation number. So, woohoo!
I still have to buy one. I am hoping they will have them.
Yeah.
Here in the near future, in the next like month or so. Hopefully.
And then,
the biggest thing I'm excited about with the collector's edition thing is the Deathwing mount.
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to be specific for the collector's edition, or if that's part of
the anniversary.
I think that's just the in-game activities thing. So later this year, Blizzard will be rolling out a series of in-game activities in World of Warcraft Battle for Azeroth in celebration of the game's 15th anniversary, culminating in a 25-player raid accessible through Raid Finder that will pit players against some of the most iconic bosses from throughout the game's history. Players who make it to this epic trial will earn the Obsidian World Breaker mount, designed to evoke the terrible visage of the ancient dragon aspect Deathwing the Destroyer. So you're gonna get your own Deathwing,
which is awesome. Like
it's pretty
mountain,
neat.
Like if anybody hasn't seen pictures of it, you need to look it up because
it's pretty neat.
Awesome. See, I thought it was kind of gonna be because it says where is it? You're gonna fight iconic bosses throughout the game's history. I thought it was gonna be like when they did what was it, the 10-year anniversary when you got the Core Hound and you had to do Molten Core.
Yeah.
Do that raid. I thought it was gonna be like that, but you had to do Deathwing. But if you had to fight like if you had to fight like a Ragnaros, Thune, and like that'd be neat.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I can't wait.
I bet you it's gonna be like the main.
Cool.
It's gonna be. I bet you it's gonna be like the main boss from each expansion. So
that'd be neat.
So it'll be like probably like Kel'Thuzad, and then Illidan, right? No, it's not. Like, Illidan wasn't the Black Temple wasn't the final raid for BC, was it?
I'd have to
What
look
was the
up.
final raid for BC?
I honestly don't know.
Final BC
Probably should know, but I don't know.
raid boss. Yeah, isn't it funny? I don't know. It's not. It wasn't Illidan.
Was it? I don't know.
See,
I want to
Burning
say
Crusade
Cthulhu was a
raids in
name, but I
order.
don't. I don't. Oh, people are gonna roast us so bad on this.
God, how I can't believe it. Never,
I don't know.
Sunwell. Sunwell was the last raid. So Kel'Thuzad. No, not Kel'Thuzad. Uh, killed Jaden.
Oh, yeah, the first called Jaden.
The first killed Jaden. He comes out of the big pool of shit in the middle.
Yeah,
Probably shouldn't
and
swear,
then
but
I swore a little bit.
yeah.
It's what it is. What it is. And then Wrath obviously will be Arthas,
Yeah, they'll probably redo the
and
Arthas fight, and then
then I always thought, like we talked about this, I thought you would have to redo Dragon Soul because that is the
but it
Deathwing raid.
the last I don't know how hard that last boss was when it was current content. I think that the spine of Deathwing would be worse than that final boss,
Yeah, where you gotta
especially
jump the islands.
yeah, especially in Raid Finder having to coordinate having an even number of people on each side and then
Oh, it'd be a
pulling the globules in the right spot. Oh my god, it'd just be a nightmare.
it'd be a bitch. Remember how hard the Molten Core was? I remember when I did that. It was like a 3 hour raid. I just wanted it to end.
Yeah, it was terrible.
It was awful, but it was fun because it was like, man, I got the mount, and how many people got it? You know.
Yeah. So then Mop would
Then
be
I also had to do it on LFR because it was just like, yeah, like,
yeah.
you know my
And
thoughts on LFR.
yeah. Mop would be Garage. That'd be a good one.
Mm-hmm.
As long as they put the secret phase in at the end.
Oh yeah, when you fight him on Mythic
Yeah.
and he becomes all, I don't even
All
like,
funny looking. Yeah.
yeah, I can't remember what
All
it's called.
corrupted.
Yeah, corrupt
Yeah, they'd have to put that
from
in
the
there.
Shah,
Yep. And then
and then WoD would be Archimon,
yep. And
and
then
Legion would what I don't even know who that was because I didn't raid
oh, it was what's his
that
name?
much in Legion.
It wasn't Sargeras. It was Argus.
Yes. So, but they didn't say which bosses or how
That
many. It
actually
just says
I could
iconic
see him do.
bosses.
I could
So,
see him doing that, picking one boss from each expansion because then it's like a 7 boss raid. You know,
ooh, yeah, actually
it actually
that's good
works
thinking.
out
That's not a bad
perfect.
idea. Yeah, and it could almost be like would it be like a Chromie type thing, like where you go back in time and it's like, oh man, you got to do this again, and then just boom, 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 boom through.
Probably they could work it in there. That's
That's
pretty.
actually not a bad idea. That's
That's
pretty
a pretty
neat.
good idea.
All I know is I want that mount. I gotta find a guild where I can get that mount. So,
Unfortunately, I think I screwed up the notes here.
well, after that, I got classic.
Yeah, I got classic WoW, but then I have the 15-year anniversary thing on here twice. Let me see if I can.
Oh yeah, it's on there twice.
Yeah, I'm gonna undo it here. Um.
So then
So
probably
I guess we just move into classic WoW. I'll have this fixed in a minute.
yeah, I can take it over while you're
Yeah, go
deleting
ahead.
that stuff. Yeah, so biggest thing for this month would be Classic WoW. And they finally came out with the release date of August 27th, 2019. So people are probably freaking out about that.
Yeah,
I know we got into the stress test. Luckily, we got into the stress test. Haven't gotten into beta yet. We got in the stress test, and I can honestly say I was 50-50 on it. I know we talked about that a lot in our personal time.
yeah.
I was very 50-50 on it, and then I played it, and oh my god, the difference. And it is so much fun.
It's way.
Like I can't.
I don't know if it's just because it's a new game or if it's just that much more fun.
Yeah, it's like it's both. It's like it's a new game, but it's also like I'm not a very big fan of like how current WoW is with participation gear, which is what I call it. Like I think running emissaries with I call that participation gear because you just get it for doing 4 quests. So here's a 380 current level stuff. And it might forge to something better. Like I don't like that. That isn't gameplay. That isn't good game design if you But going back to classic and actually having to earn what you have is it's a whole new feeling. Like if you haven't played it or you're like one of those, I don't like it, it's stupid, it's classic. Give it a shot.
Yep.
It is a completely different experience that is actually it's nice. Like I didn't want to stop playing it and I had no choice.
Yep. So you said the date was August 27th, which is it's frustrating because there was a blue post from Blizzard on the forums that said, "Oh yeah, get ready for a classic summer. It's still coming. Get ready for a classic summer." It's like, well, I don't know about you, but August 27th is like going back to school time and the summer's over.
Yeah.
So, like it's like classic summer for 3 days. Woohoo. So I mean, I
Yeah,
guess when
because
you're
then
from
September
when you're
and
from
it's like
when you're
moved
from
again.
California, every day's the summer. So I mean,
Yeah.
that's probably why it's like that. But
But when you live in Illinois and it's starting to get cold,
yeah,
it
it's already like
doesn't work
50
that way.
degrees in August. Yeah. Uh,
um,
so yeah, the beta has started. What I'm kind of frustrated about is it's basically just a big streamer beta. In
yeah, it
my
started what 2 weeks ago.
yeah,
Is that when it happened? 2 weeks, a week ago, two
I mean
weeks
it's
ago.
basically just free advertising for Blizzard, in my
Yeah,
opinion. I mean they're giving some lay people access, but it's mostly people who had accounts back in 2004.
yeah, and then the classic cast people, which I mean, obviously
Yeah,
the
they're streamers.
is
All the
good because that's for it was almost for
yeah,
them. Like
and
they really fought hard.
I know a lot of people who fought hard for this to begin with got access, rightfully so.
Yeah, which is good.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, so it's kind of like just a streamer thing, which I guess I mean they have the most amount of viewers to do it, and it's free advertisement. It's the best advertisement.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, they can do what up to level 30, I believe, or do they update that
No, it's level
to
30.
more?
Yep,
Is this
level
level
30.
30?
Yep.
I know Asmund was talking about maybe it was either Asmund or S-Fan, one of them. They were talking about trying to get them to go up another couple levels, maybe like 40, but I don't. Who knows what they're
I
gonna
think at
do?
some point Blizzard will up it to 60 because they have to test that leveling content at some point.
Yeah, they're gonna have to. I mean, at level 30, you get what? I don't even know how many dungeons you get
I couldn't tell you.
at that point.
I could
The
not
only
tell
one that
you.
I ever see them run was Black Fathom Depths, and then I'm assuming the Horde got Ragefire Chasm or Chasm. I'm not
Yeah,
100%
Chasm.
sure how you say that.
Yeah, Chasm.
And those were both level 15 dungeons. So I don't know.
I think they
I
ran.
don't know what else was around there
I think
at
they
that time.
ran. I saw Dead Mines was run too.
Oh, Dead Mines.
Yeah, Dead
Yeah, that's
Mines.
the one that they ran. Maybe it wasn't Black Fathom Depths.
I didn't
It
watch
was Dead Mines.
any horde content.
Correction.
I didn't
The only
real.
reason why I know what the Horde one was is because I like doing Ragefire, Chasm, whatever the hell it's called. That was like one of my favorite ones.
Yeah, I didn't watch
It
any
was nice and
horde
short.
beta
It was
content.
easier. I watched a little. I watched Soda doing a little bit. He was I don't know what quest he was doing, but he ended up pulling like half the area, and it didn't end well.
Oh,
I
it never
don't know
does
what he
it
was.
never
I don't
does.
know.
Anything
It
more than
doesn't.
one in classic is tough.
Yeah, like I was like, oh, I'm gonna try pulling two, and yeah, you run out of mana or whatever. I was playing a mage because it was something I never played before, which is how I kind of wanted to do it when I got into the beta stress test. Was I wanted to play something I never played before because I maintain concurrent
Mm-hmm.
and I don't play horde, so I was like, man, it's gonna be like a brand new experience playing classic for 10 levels.
Yeah.
So I was like, screw it, I'm gonna play a caster, which is the farthest from playing a tank. And I'm gonna play horde because I don't know where anything is. I don't know like the set quests, like where to run.
Right.
So it was neat. It was like playing a brand new game, and it was so much fun. I can't stress enough how much fun I actually had.
I did a no mage in the stress test. So before I back up this second here, there was a
Mhm.
classic beta stress test. The first
Oh yeah,
24 hours was only levels 1 through 5, and it was
and
terrible.
a pain in the ass. I waited. I never got into it, and I sat here for an hour and a
I
half
never got
just
in either,
trying to log.
and I think Blizzard kind of felt bad about it. So then they put out another stress test about a week later, and that was levels 1 through 10,
Yeah.
which is the one we got into. And you were talking about how you leveled the horde, and
Yes.
I picked the gnome mage, uh, because I actually did a 1 through 7 gnome mage on the Lights Hope Northdale server, and I wanted to try it again to see the difference. And it was
Was
different.
there a difference?
It was
Is it?
different.
Is it a big? Because I
It
remember watching like SFan and Asman like, oh, this didn't happen on the private server and this didn't happen on the private server, but it's not. It's different. It's not the private
it
server.
seemed it seemed easier to me.
Did it?
It seemed easier, but it took longer. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. And see, I never played any of those,
I
so
got
like
I got
everything.
level 7 faster on the private server than I did in the classic beta, but the classic beta was easier to kill mobs and stuff.
Yeah, I think my 1 through 10 was I 8 hours. I think it took me.
I didn't start dying until I was like level 8, but on classic, but on private servers I died much more often.
So I died almost right away in the beginning because I ended up getting the layering effect to do.
Oh,
So
layering,
on top
yeah.
of on top of getting kicked out, like one of my first set of gameplay, I believe. Let me look it up really quick here, because I have it on Twitch. 1 second here. I believe I played for like three hours. Let's see, 3 hours and 50 minutes. That was like my first. Like I can't remember
Mhm.
how long it went. But I did 3 hour and 50, so 2 4 hour streams basically, 1 through 10. In the beginning on my first day, which I was doing, it was the one through whatever. I couldn't connect to the server to save my life. It was constantly kicking me and everything. And then I got sharded or layered, and we'll talk about layered here in a second or two. I got layered, and all of a sudden there was just mobs everywhere, and I was in this cave, and like four of them hit me, and I was like, "Well, I'm dying." Like there's nothing.
Yeah.
You can't win at that point. Like you don't have enough mana. You can't drink while in combat and eat, so you're just
Yep. You're done.
take the death and run back.
Yep. Corpse run time.
Oh yeah, and I want to say like I was level 2 or 3 at that point because it was like the one of the first few quests on the horde side.
Yeah.
Um, I should probably tell you, I played a troll, and they actually don't start off in Senjin current. You actually start out where the orcs start out in current, unless if
Yeah.
that's changed. I haven't
I haven't
played
done
a.
a troll in a long time.
Well,
I
I
don't even.
leveled one. I was playing my druid and I did like 1 to 3, but you start in Senjin, and then the orcs start like in classic. You start where the orcs start off, which I don't even know what the heck the place is called.
Yeah, I don't know. It's in
So
Duratar, I think. I don't know.
yes,
Yeah.
Duratar. Um, so yeah, so then talking about the layering thing, it's something it I'm 50-50 on it. It'll make killing stuff, getting quest items easier because how it works is, say you got the server, whatever you want to call it, BlackRock, whatever.
Right.
And then in BlackRock you have other little mini servers, which is what the layers are.
Yeah. It's all still the
Um
same server. It's just different instances of the same server.
yeah.
It's
So
not
it's kind of
like
like now like
it's not like sharding now, where it's like they take multiple. Like you could just be plopped onto
yeah,
another
like
server
you're on
completely.
Storm Rage and then you're over on Stargaris. Well, actually, you wouldn't be on Stargaris. That's a PvP, but you know what I mean. Like you'd be
Yeah.
on Drac or something.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So with the layering, like now, like if you're in a group, well, so how it worked, like, is like they did this in Star Wars. What the heck is that game called? I can't even think of it now. Knights of the Old Republic or the Old Republic. Um, they did it, and like in the little bottom of the corner you could see like you'd pick your server and it have like world 1 and like world 2, and you could group up with people, but if you don't see them then you're like, oh man, they're on a different layer, so you'd have to go to that layer. I don't know how that's going to work for classic. If you
Well,
group up with people that are on a different layer, they just going to put you there, are you going to have to like manually put yourself there?
right.
But
I
then
think
also you
it's
run
just
into a
gonna
thing
probably do it.
where
I think it'll be automatic.
I hope, because being a noob like I was and then
They
trying
did.
to figure out how to
They did
switch like
say.
layers, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing.
They did say that if you're on one layer and your group's on another and you join that group, you will
Mhm.
all be you will all be put onto the same layer.
Oh, that's nice.
So it won't be like now with Battle for Azeroth when you're in a 5-man group questing and you're running through a zone and all of a sudden everybody goes bloop, they all disappear and
Yeah.
you're all in 5 different servers.
But then something that like we have like when we do stuff together, we have to watch out for is because you like to play in the PvP mode, whereas I don't. I'm not a PvPer, and you are actually like layered to where I can't even see you unless we run into a dungeon or a raid.
Yeah. I am
I wish they could.
for classic, I'm going full PvP. I'm doing it. I have to. I have to.
I tried like
That's the way the game's meant to be played. I'm doing it.
I so
I'm
when
going
I
full 2004.
just everything PvP.
Yeah.
See, I don't PvP, and I tried it. Like as soon as I logged in, some guy was like, "Oh, I think he played a warrior." And I don't know if it was my internet or his internet or the server just being garbage, but it was awful. I'm not gonna lie. Um,
You were also
I
level
was
1 trying to do it.
I was level 1. Yeah, he was 2, I believe, and I only had one spell, which was like fireball or something.
Right. You were going
But I
to
would be
lose.
yeah, so I'd be sitting there like, waiting for it to cast, and he'd be in front of me, and then like that, he'd be behind me. Like it delayed, like him running around. So he'd always be attacking me from behind. I'd be trying to shoot forward. It was I don't know if it was like an internet thing or the server just being bad, because then later down the road it just would kick me for like an hour, you
Yeah,
know.
I think that had a lot to do with it. So, but you're also
Um
level 1. I mean,
he was too,
there's
I
not much to
believe.
do there.
No, and you have like no health, and
Right.
you cast like two things and you're out of mana.
Yep.
But it was fun. What an
Uh,
experience. I know I was telling you about it before. It was like I got into a good group for like my last two levels. Like I just grouped up with two people and we ran the last couple levels
yeah.
of the test, and that was so much fun. Like when we got to the end, it was like you can't do anything else, really. I mean, there was a quest that they gave. It's like I can't gain a level out of it. I can't really do anything. But it was like, man, I don't want to leave because I had so much fun.
Right.
But it's like there's nothing else.
I can't keep going. Yeah. I yeah, I can't wait. I'm so freaking excited. It's not even funny.
It is, yeah, and it's like I said, it's a whole different experience. Like
I'm
it's
taking
not like now,
I'm taking at least a week
where
off of work for this when it comes out.
I'm not going to be able to, unfortunately. But it's not like it is now where you're like, oh, okay. So like for me, I play tank, and you just don't take damage questing. Like so, you're like, oh, I got to kill these 10 things. Okay, you just run around, pick up 10 things, and kill them. There, it's like, okay, I got to kill these 10 like birds or whatever, and it's like, okay, I have to pull one at a time,
Yep.
and then you have to be competitive with other people because there's no like, oh, you're just sharding and you're just going to go to some dead server,
Yeah.
that has no one on it. It's like, okay, well, if you're on a populated server now, you're fighting who knows how many people. I mean, I sent you that picture
Yeah.
of when I got in. I don't even know how many people were there. 50 probably.
It's
Like it was
awesome.
crazy.
It's awesome.
And trying to compete with that is just I don't know, it makes, like you were always talking about, it makes that feeling of you got this that much more where it just kind of wasn't handed to you.
Right. Like it's gonna take you months to get to max level. Months. But when you get there, you're gonna be like, I am max level. Like I did this.
Hmm.
It didn't
I
take
think
me
what was it?
like a 5 hour grind period. Just blah 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 max level.
Yeah, I took a potion, I recruited a friend, and I have all my heirlooms on, and my character has like rested XP, and I can just boom blow through levels in
Yep.
um you can blow through a whole, was it, I think there's a speed run, it's like what, 2 hours
It's ridiculous.
from Legion. It was like 0 to 110 or 1 to 110.
Really, 2 hours?
I believe I have to look it up.
I'm gonna have to look into that too. That's interesting.
I remember seeing it. Let's see here. YouTube. Oh, Warcraft leveling 1 to 120.
1 to 120. I bet it's
Okay, this is an 8 hour
still
video.
that's nothing. That's 0 to
But I
max
remember
level in 8 hours. That's
right
ridiculous.
here, Troll F Jez. 2 years ago, World of Warcraft leveling 1 to 100 in 2 hours and 14 minutes, world record.
That's crazy.
Whereas now in um Classic, like I think it's gonna take. I think Soda said it's gonna take at least a month to get to to
It,
get 6.
and so when they say a month, they don't mean like 30 days. They mean
Yeah,
like
probably like a month worth of time.
a month worth of sitting in front of your computer. If you stream
Yeah,
24
day in
hours,
and day night.
if you stream for 20, or if you played for 24 hours a day, it would take you 30 days to get to max level.
Hmm.
That That's a huge accomplishment on itself. Let
Yeah,
alone
and then you actually,
let
and then
alone
you're also getting,
rating.
oh yeah, and trying to get gear for raids or trying to get gear even out of dungeons because everything is
Right.
group loot
Yep.
and it only drops like one piece, and then you might get lucky where there's a rare spawn in there or a chest.
Yeah.
What was I
Just
gonna say?
just
Shoot.
so much activities to do. It's great.
Yeah, like it's crazy. And then another thing I liked about it, which I thought I wasn't going to like it, but I like that you kind of have to find the quests. Like they're not just go here and you don't even have to read in current
Right.
WoW.
You
It's just click the button and
just look
go and
just
so
look
you
at your
find the
map.
shit you gotta kill. Yeah.
Just look at your map, run to wherever you got to go in the map, kill everything in there, up done, run back. Yeah.
And then one of them, it was you had to kill like this spider on the horde side for classic, and it was like, oh, it's I actually had to sit there and read it because it doesn't give you a location on your map where to go. So you have to actually find, read it and then be like, okay, this guy says it was southwest from where he was. And it's like you run around like, man, I can't find it. Well, you actually have to like go north up into the mountains and then come back to kill this spider.
It's awesome.
So I was like, oh man, it's like, and you finally like you just get lucky because you find someone running out of there and you're like, oh, that's where I gotta go. And then you
Oh,
hurry up and you
yep.
hope you're up there and the first one to tag it to kill it, or you get to sit there and do the waiting game.
Or then like you run like you're like, oh, I got to go kill this thing, and then exact situation happens, right? And you run in there and you go, yes, I'm gonna tag it and I'm gonna kill it, and then you tag it and you realize it's like 5 levels higher than you are,
Yep,
and
that happened to me a bunch of times.
you're like, oh crap, this is group content. Well, I'm dead.
Yep, that happened to me. I was in a group, but my group was somewhere else, and I was kind of on my own. And there was this orc warlock, and his void walker killed me like twice. Like it just, I don't know what it is about it, but it killed me. And then some guy called me a dumbass because I tagged it. So I was like, oh, whatever.
Classic noob
Um,
here. Classic
yeah,
noob.
classic noob. And I told my group that I was like, I'm a noob, so I don't know what I'm doing. But yeah, no, it was fun.
Yep.
And
I
then
get.
like I always thought it was kind of funny, like watching. Like I always keep talking about their streamers, but they actually have it. Like when they get a green and they're just like, oh, I got a
Oh
green,
man,
and you're
it's a
like, oh,
green.
whatever, like it's a fucking green, and then you play it and you're like, oh my god, I got a green. Thank God, I can put out some more damage. Like
Yep.
I'm running around in grays here, and my weapon does like 11 to 12 damage, or
It's
I
great.
was so excited when I got like a staff that wasn't from level 1. And I was like, "Oh, finally I can do big dick DPS,"
Right.
which wasn't really much. I think the highest I did was like 45 damage. But
Yep.
yeah, no, it was fun. It was an experience. And like I said before, if people don't like classic, they should really give it a shot before they badmouth it
They should.
because it is a completely different
It,
experience than retail.
yeah, it is
And
way
like
different.
you have to be in a group. It's not like now where it's just a solo experience and whatever. And you queue up your dungeon, which I'm at fault. I like the dungeon finder. I don't like raid finder. I don't like LFR. I don't like pugging, but I do like the group thing. It's just kind of easier. But with classic WoW, I think it's gonna be really fun because you have to be in a group,
Yeah.
and it's really gonna cut out the elitists that think they're better. I mean, you're still gonna come up with the gatekeepers and all that just think you're better. They're better than you and whatever. You
Yeah.
eventually learn their names and you will never do anything because they don't have anywhere to go.
Yep.
So it's like if
You
they
can't.
want to be a dick, you can remember and be like, well, I'm not going to run anything with you, and I'm going to tell everybody not to run anything with
Yep.
you.
Can't be a jerk in classic.
Yeah.
I love it.
I mean, you can if you want to get a reputation
Yep.
that's going to follow you till you delete that character.
Yep.
So, but that's
What?
another thing. It's like, man, the group finder is just, I could talk hours about it. Like, it's just, and I only played 10 levels.
Yeah. It's
It's
a,
a completely different experience.
definitely
I
a
know I
different
keep
experience.
that.
Yeah. So I guess that pretty much wraps up all our classic and BFA news, right? I guess we're
Yeah,
onto the
pretty sure we
last.
killed that to death.
Yep, we did. We did. We
It was
rammed
fun
it.
though. I
We
enjoyed
rammed it
it.
into the ground real hard. So our last real hard, smashed the shit out of it. Uh,
But man, it's like coming from like I said before, like now I'm going back to what I'm saying again. Like I was very 50-50 on it. Like I was like, man, I don't want this game to come out. I was kind of like, it's gonna kill current WoW. And now it's like I want to play this. I cannot wait to play this. Like
it's, isn't it crazy how that works?
it is. Like, yeah. And like we had always talked about, like I said, I was always 50-50 on it. And if that's what people want, then they should get what they want because that's that's what's gonna make them happy and not bitch
Yep.
about everything else. Because I feel like Blizzard right now is in a spot where they can't do anything right,
Yeah, they're in a bad spot.
in my opinion.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So
I guess moving on, we
moving moving
killed
on.
that to death
So
again.
the last segment of our show, we're always gonna try to just talk about some random. Doesn't even have to be gaming news. It can be like I already have a topic for our next show that's not gaming news. Might even be
Oh,
a little,
cool.
yeah. It might even be just a little political, but I think we can keep it neutral and have a good conversation, in my opinion. But
I hope.
anyways, not well. That's next time. But right now, E3 2019 is coming up, and just kind of want to touch
When
base.
is that?
E3 2019, Tuesday June 11th through Thursday June 13th.
Nice.
So E3 is just basically like a big
So
convention where all the consoles get together and they do press conferences and trailers for all their games coming out for the year.
I believe they stream that on Twitch too, don't they? Do they stream the entire week, or they just stream the big
I
panels?
think they stream everything, pretty much everything. I think there's multiple E3 channels going at the same time.
I gotta start watching that stuff
It's
again.
pretty
Like
good.
as soon as it's sad. Like I was a big console player, and then you got me into WoW,
Yeah.
and it was just like, up, throw consoles to the side. This is here comes
Yep.
computer overlords here taking over, and that's where I've been for the last like 10 years.
Yeah. I for me personally, I think the biggest news that's going on with E3 is that Sony won't be presenting anything at the convention. So
Yeah,
it's
I was trying to look.
just gonna be pretty much Xbox because Nintendo. I don't know. They don't do too much there at E3. Like they're there, but they don't really do anything.
I'm assuming they're gonna have Mario Maker 2 stuff being played there because that's like one of their biggest games coming out.
Is that a for sure? Is that for sure coming out now?
Mario Maker 2, yeah.
Yeah.
I believe there's a release date. The release
Oh,
date is over for anybody that doesn't know or have any idea what I'm talking about. It's during uh SGDQ, which is Summer Games Done Quick. It's a speedrunning event that happens twice a year. It's a week long, 24 hours where they speedrun video games, which is either by cheating in the video game or breaking the logic in the game. Um, so I believe it's coming out during that time, and it's a week long event where they raise money for charities. Usually, they do um, what is it called? Doctors Without Borders. Um, this last one over the winter time, they did cancer. They're raising money for cancer.
yeah.
Here, two. Hold on, I gotta spell. When is Maker Maker coming out? Mario Maker 2 coming out. So you can pre-order it. Coming out June 28th. So I'm assuming they're going to have some gameplay there for Mario Maker 2 at E3. I would assume. I don't know. Maybe they have like a little beta version of it there, like they do at BlizzCon, where you can play some of it.
Yeah, maybe.
Um,
So
I
just
wonder.
doing some research for E3. People have been talking about like possible games that could be coming out with trailers or announcements. Was Gears of War 5, Halo Infinite, and then the normal stuff that we get from Bethesda.
I'm excited for Gears of War 5. I haven't finished Gears of War 4, but that is Gears of War 5 or Gears of War in general is my favorite like FPS.
I never
It's a
played
pretty
any.
good.
I never played any of them.
It's a good story. I think you'd enjoy it. I don't want to ruin it for you. Um, but yeah, no, it's very fun. Um, yeah,
And I,
I
I
don't know.
never played it.
Halo,
I never played any of the Halos either. So
Halo. I used to play Halo. I played 1 through 3. I also like at the time they had the best co-op like versus type stuff. I mean, I kind of feel like
yeah,
that's where like a lot of these esports stuff has come out now with like Call of Duty and all that. It came from Halo, in my opinion.
yeah, I kind of
Because you
agree.
could always link your Xboxes together, and we used to do that all the time.
Yeah,
Um,
Halo for sure put things on the map, at least.
and then that was like the biggest thing was like the competitive part of it was really fun. The game, like I gave up on the game after Halo 3. It for me it became stale because it was the same thing. It was just up, you found another Halo, and you have the same exact enemies, and then the flood comes, which is like this these enemies, and you're like, up they come, and you're just like, oh yeah, it's the same as Halo 1 and 2. So I quit playing it.
Yeah, I
But Gears of
remember
War
playing.
5, I'm excited for.
I remember back in the day playing GoldenEye 007.
Ooh, that was a fun game too.
That game was awesome. But
Um,
I
but
digress.
something else for the future that I'm pretty excited about. I'm gonna have to pick me up a Switch. Zelda Link's Awakening remastered.
Yeah,
That I cannot wait for. I think it said it comes out December 31st. Is that correct?
maybe. If you looked it up, you probably know better than me because
Uh,
I didn't even know it was a thing. Just heard about that today.
so it was it was something that came up when I typed in Mario Maker. It was sitting over there. It says 2 day free 2 day delivery arrives by Tuesday, December 31st. So
Right.
I'm assuming that's when it comes out. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know. But that was the first Zelda game I had ever played on Game Boy, and it was amazing.
Yep.
So I'm really excited about that.
Some other stuff that
Um,
people think that's going to happen is that Microsoft is going to have its own gaming service like Netflix.
and what is that? Because I tried looking that up,
Which
and I'm
I don't
confused
understand.
about it.
I don't know where that came from either because they sort of have that now. That must be like is that like last year's news? Are we talking about 2018 news?
I don't know. I never heard like I said, like I stopped looking at consoles like when I started playing WoW. It's like, yeah, I have an Xbox 360. I don't know why I bought or not 360. Holy crap, an Xbox One. Um, I have like 3 games for it. I don't know why I bought it because I don't play
Because
it. It literally
Xbox
is just sitting there.
Microsoft has something like that already, if I'm not
But
mistaken.
there was something I was reading like
I don't know. Let's just forget I said that because I feel like that's old news. I
I
could be wrong.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. I could be wrong.
I I don't. I'm so far out of the loop. Like I feel dumb.
Yeah,
Like, but it's
I'm
like
out of the loop too. I've been a WoW boy for the
if it isn't
last.
about like WoW or Diablo or Blizzard, just Blizzard in general.
Yeah, if it's not Blizzard, I don't
I
know.
don't know. I don't know about it. So this is all news to me. Like I don't know if this Microsoft gaming service is something that they were cool that they were talking about in this video was you could play, which from what I understand, it was like you can play an Xbox game like on your phone. Like everything's all linked together. Do we want to take a quick break or no?
Yeah, we'll take a break.
So are you ready?
Uncut.
Uncut? Uncut. Um so yeah, one of the biggest things that I like that's coming up here is Mortal Kombat 11, the combat pack. It's a game I still gotta buy, but it's one of my favorite franchises. I love NetherRealm Studios. It is one of my favorite games. This is like one of the first games I ever played. And they're coming out with the new DLC pack, which I'm pretty excited about. Um, so you get Shang Tsung, and he actually looks like the guy from the movie. Don't remember what his name is. Let's see if this says it in here. It doesn't. But yeah, so it looks like if you've ever seen the Mortal Kombat movie, it actually looks like him and kind of have the same like um voice lines and stuff, which is really neat. So you get Shang Tsung, Sindel, Nightwolf, and they're doing Spawn again, which I believe Spawn was in a different. Was he in a different one, or was he in? He was either in with Mortal Kombat or he was in another fighting game, Soul Calibur. I'm not 100% sure. I have to look that up more.
Yeah, I have no
But it's
idea.
exciting. And they said they're coming out 2 more characters after that, so you get a total of 6. This bundle pack is, I believe it said $39.99. So I don't know. It's kind of expensive if you ask me, but
Yeah, that's like a whole
that's where
game.
we're at in the world. It's micro. I don't want to call this microtransaction because it's a little bigger than that, but
Yeah, that's like
you
the
get
whole
kind of
game.
like a micro. And then it says you also get 7 character skins, which I don't. I'm assuming you can make them look different. I said I haven't played the game yet, so. And then exclusive sets of gear, which I don't know what that is either. So I'm excited for it. Release is April 23rd. So
Yep.
yeah. Well,
Great.
it's no, that's when the game released. I don't know when this comic pack released. I don't know what the fuck I'm reading here. um,
Excuse my sneeze.
I'm not sure when that's coming out. Well, don't quote me
It's
on that.
okay.
That's when the game came out.
It'll be soon,
Yeah.
I'm
Anywho,
sure. Anywho.
I'm excited for that. So that's about it from me.
Yeah, I think that's everything I had. I guess it's just time to shamelessly plug all our other stuff.
Yes.
So you can go first.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, go first. Yeah.
You go first.
Okay. First, I just want to say thanks to everybody who listened or watched or whatever, however you consumed this. Our first ever Ganking Azeroth podcast. Uh, Again, thank you very much. Much appreciated. You can follow me on Twitter at WayneDaPayne, WayneDaPayne1 on Twitter, WayneDaPayne1 on Instagram, and WayneDaPayne1 on YouTube. Actually, my Twitter doesn't have the one. It's just WayneDaPayne. But everywhere else, it's WayneDaPayne1, except for Twitch and Twitter. If that's not confusing. Next week, I'll get it right. I'll get it right next week. Don't worry. This is my first time. It was terrible. All right,
First timer here.
don't don't screw up as bad as
Uh,
I did. Okay.
oh come on, it was good. I thought.
Okay.
Don't worry. I'll butcher it. Um. Yeah. Are you good?
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead. It's your turn.
All
Go right
right.
ahead.
uh. So my name's Rick. You can actually call me Shawn if you really want to. You can find me on Twitch at RurrukGaming_gaming. So it's RURRUK_gaming. Twitter is RurrukGaming, all one word. The R and the G are capitalized. I don't have a YouTube yet, but I'm gonna make one, and it's either gonna be Rurruk Gaming or Rurruk_gaming, like my Twitch account. So we'll have to figure out here.
Yep.
Yeah, where you can find me. And like Wayne was saying, thank you so much for listening to our first one, listening, watching, however you're going to view it. And also leave comments. I like comments.
Yeah, I like comments too.
Yeah, tell us what we can improve on, what you think we should do different. Yeah, so
Yep.
other
All
than
right.
that, that's it. Yeah.
Cool.
So
Thank
first
you.
ever Ganking Azeroth podcast.
First
I
ever.
enjoyed it.
Yep. I did too.
So
Peace.
later.